Hello and welcome back to Make It a Double-Double. I've already said I'm going to break the record. The Clarets are going up. The Clarets are going up. We're officially Premier League.
But
How do
now,
we feel about it? All great, I assume.
I'm surprised you even started with welcome to Make It a Double-Double. We didn't start with Burnley are going up.
I thought about it. I thought about going like full kit wanker. I thought about
I love that.
I've been looking for like my Burnley stuff all day, and I've just thought, do you know what? I'm just gonna keep it real, guys. Just keep it real. Burnley's not everything about my personality, Like, let's keep it pretty chill.
I think we both know the answer, but I'm sure there'll be burning questions on all the listeners.
Was I there till the 90th minute?
What time did you leave yesterday?
I stayed right until the end. I watched the full game, and I stayed and watched the celebrations.
There you go.
I watched the pitch invasion. Ooh, right.
They want it more of a scrap than in celebration on pitch.
So, straight off the bat, right, thoughts on pitch invasions with 2 games left when you can still win the league?
That is premature.
Massively. I thought so as well.
Yeah, I think so.
That's why I was like, I stayed for the celebrations, but like, they drag on a bit, don't they? Like, there's only so much of watching them dance in the middle of the pitch to Will Griggs on fire that I can sit and watch, you know what I mean? And like I said, the steward, when I walked out, he was like, oh, you're not staying for celebrations? I was like, we're going to do it again in 2 weeks when we win league. What's the point? Which, listen, I know we're not in pole position for that, but I don't care. I actually don't care. Don't care at all.
Even if Leeds go on and win the next 2 games and get promoted or win the league, they have just done like a big full-on celebration outside Ellen Road, like loads of players there celebrating and all that stuff. I'm not even being spiteful here because, I don't want them to do well. If that were my team, I'd want to win the league that bad that I'd be pissed off that they're doing that now. Like they were there with beers in hand, celebrating, flares out and all that. If you then don't go win the league now, you're missing the bigger party. You're missing the big party for it.
Yeah.
Like, you can still celebrate going up in 2 games' time if you don't win the league. Still do it. Have your celebration.
The thing is,
you've done it now.
We obviously had that planned because we were guaranteeing it happening. Like, we were there. It was, and then if Leeds were playing at the same time, I could have kind of understood it. But like, they had to go home, watch the game, then come back and do it. And like, you might as well wait 2 weeks. They're in pole position to win league. They've got 2 weeks.
I feel like their celebrations are probably heightened because what happened last season. Didn't they get knocked out the playoff final?
Yeah, but they bottle it every year. They
they lost the playoff final.
Yeah. So I think,
I think
it's warranted. Let them have it.
Yeah, and I think we don't care about winning the league. Obviously, it would be nice, but I genuinely don't think we expected to go straight back up with the amount of players. I know everyone keeps saying that, oh, Burnley got best squad in the league. I don't think we do. I don't think we've got top 3 squads. Nah. I think Leeds have got a miles better squad. I think on paper, Sheffield United have got a better squad. Don't get me wrong. I think we've got players who've got a much higher ceiling than the vast majority of both teams. But right now, I'd take Leeds squad over ours. Obviously, with more of a backbone. But I've been Scott Parker's biggest critic. Not a fan of the football he plays, but you've got to commend really what he's done. I mean, we've conceded 15 goals in 44 games.
This is the thing, though.
Keeps it's an English football record, not just like a championship record. It's an English football record.
How many of those?
The thing that plays on my mind is the fact he's had 3 promotions now with championship teams, and he's still having to go back to the championship to then have success.
Yeah. Well, there's talk of Leeds sacking Daniel Farker, isn't there?
What?
There's talk of Leeds sacking Daniel Farker, regardless of whether they win the league or not, which I think is an interesting tactic. Why wait till November when you're 8 points adrift? Bring a new man in, give him a transfer window, let him tell you who's Premier League quality and who's not. Because Farker is quite similar to Parker, really, in that he's an absolutely fantastic championship manager. But he's dog shit in Prem.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one.
They would have already had conversations with the manager and the board as to what their plans are for next season. Both teams expected to get promoted. So if the Leeds board didn't like what he had to say, or they might have someone else waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The issue is there's not many top managers available at the moment.
This is the other thing. I reckon go and get Jose Mourinho, me. Throw a bit of cash at him. Bring Jose Mourinho back to England.
I actually love him as a manager. If he became the Leeds manager, I actually think I'd have to never watch him again.
Burnley.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, love that.
Bring him to Burnley. Imagine a Jose Mourinho defence with Maxime Esteve at the heart of it. We might never concede another goal. We'd be the first team to get relegated without scoring or conceding.
Could you imagine like the party in LA or something if Wrexham, Birmingham, who have gone up, and Burnley go up with JJ Watt?
Yeah, loads of it. Just Americans.
Ryan Reynolds is Rob McElhenney and thingy for Birmingham.
I hate Wickham. If Wickham didn't bottle it against Charlton this weekend, Wrexham would have fucking been third. So there's two. I just don't want Wrexham going up.
Why though? Why?
No, it's not.
Because they've had a bit of money.
No, it's mainly because. No, it's not the club. It's the fans.
Why though?
They've now got this group because they've got a group of people who think they're better than other people now because they've got money in there.
Yeah.
Every single. Bearing in mind, don't forget after every game this week, I now see replies from all sorts of different League One teams.
Yeah, that is true.
And it's filled with Wrexham fans or pretend Wrexham fans that are going on about we're too good for this. We should be better than this. We should be this. We should be that. You were non-league like three years ago.
But you got to remember, they are like a historic club.
Oh yeah, I get that. But just because you've got money doesn't also mean you're entitled to something.
No, but if I could pick a team that like did get a takeover and like did deserve like the town having money pumped into it, like businesses around it, like I think Wrexham is right up there. To be fair.
I've loved all the documentaries. I love the actual idea of it all.
It does bring
it's the fans that have pissed me off.
Yeah. Well, I would love to see him in the Championship, though. I'd love to see like how because as Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds are rich. But Rob McElhenney is rich. Ryan Reynolds is rich. They're not Championship.
They're not Saudi oil owners.
Exactly. So I think the Championship is where they're kind of reaching sort of their level of how much money they can pump in.
Yeah, they couldn't compete in the Premier League without more backing.
I don't think they could compete top half at Championship. I don't think they can go throw in 15 million on a player.
No.
Your only issue is when they released the books this year and stuff, there were moments where like in it they were like, sponsorships of like 100 million. Yeah. And it's like through like he's got his own companies, they've got their own gin company and he's got all this other stuff. So they've got a lot of avenues to fix the books.
That is true.
Whereas
that is true.
They don't have to actually find the money. It's about just
how they
pushing money around. You
are right.
Yeah, I do think they'll be able to do a Championship push. I just think Prem's the big issue.
Yeah. As a sponsorship like investment, if Wrexham get promoted to the Championship, surely they're the most attractive team to sponsor. If you're a big company, you're not going to sponsor. I don't know, Sheffield over them, are you?
The way they've done it in terms of like commercializing it is genius. It's like, did you see? I can't remember what it was for, but it was an advert that had Channing Tatum in it. And they were on about doing it was like about football.
They were singing
goal celebrations.
Yes, in change rooms with them all.
Yeah.
How are you getting that involved in a League One team?
That's fucking nuts. That is absolutely nuts, isn't it?
And it's almost like Football Manager in a way. When you are trying to get a team promoted, one of your best ways to do it, especially when you're in the lower leagues, is they've signed older players, but that are still too good for that league. Like your Jay Rodriguez this season. When they were down there, Paul Mullin, things like that. When you get to the top half at Championship, I don't think there's as many of those players about.
No.
You don't have players that are too good for that position just because they're older and experienced.
No, you have a lot of players who are good Championship players, but not good enough for the Prem. But even still, like, I'm trying to like Josh Brownhill, he's not like he's not going to win you a league on his own. He's another player that I've been like his biggest critic this year, but without his goals, we simply don't get promoted.
I've seen like criticism of people saying that it almost seems like a fashion accessory for people from LA to own, a football league team in this country. It's almost like them buying a yacht or something. It's like a status symbol. But at the same time, similar sort of fans are crying out for more money to be pumped into the Football League by the FA and all, because clubs are falling and folding, left, right, and centre, and are struggling financially. So you can't have your cake and eat it. At the end of the day, if it means, what would you rather have? Your football team going into administration, or your football team being taken over by a Hollywood?
Yeah, this is it. I've just realised we've actually talked about football for 10 minutes. Are we doing drinks?
Yeah, I'm gasping.
We can do, yeah.
What have you brought? Because listen, we're turning it into a segment, boys. Okay, we're bringing the drinks back. I'm going to save mine till last.
I'm going to say I'll rush mine through. I've decided, just because I've had a very heavy bank holiday weekend, I've gone for something a little bit lighter than usual.
Water.
But I say that I didn't realise how much was left in the bottle. So that's a gin and lemonade. So it's like a 3/4 pint of gin and lemonade. Because the rest, when there's like that much left in the bottle, and you just like, there's no point leaving it. I just carried on, and it just ended up being a big one. So that's me.
You know what? I love that for you. What about you?
I reckon it's just water. I reckon you should take a bigger gulp and keep a straight face.
Honestly, I can go get the bottle out of the recycling if you want that's empty.
Oh, that old chestnut. I can get an empty bottle as well. No bother about that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no bubbles in that either.
I haven't fully let the side down, but I have a little bit, because I haven't really experimented. Because I think 2 weeks ago, when I was last on, I had a Rattler and
you did, yeah.
whiskey.
You did,
and I've just got the other Rattler, to be honest, because
hey, listen,
I didn't have time today on the way in from work to go to the shop. So
well, I did last week try some silly stout, fucking stale donut and piss, whatever it ended up being, and it were horrible. And also, what I will say, Aaron, went to Bakewell at the weekend. Mrs. got a. Did you get a Guinness?
Yeah.
She got a Guinness, and I'm not going to say forced me to try it, but was convinced that I would like it because it's smooth, get past the foam. Fucking horrible. Horrible.
No,
how are you drinking that? It's fucking horrible.
I was expecting you to then be like, it wasn't that bad, I quite liked it, blah, blah, blah.
No. Thank you. No, horrible. I had to Diet Coke straight down. Horrible. However, we are determined to find me a drink. And by we, I just mean me. We've not talked about this. I've just decided to do it on my own. Because we were looking for nice beers and stuff the other day. And I found a Vault City Brewing Radler. I don't know what that means. Lemon, grapefruit, and pineapple.
Oh,
now is it fizzy?
I didn't check that, to be honest.
Like, it doesn't say it's a sour, does it, on the front?
No, but some of the sours were tempted. Talk to me about a sour. What? Talk me through it.
So a sour is still it's like a beer anyway, but it has a really, really tangy aftertaste. Like, it is genuinely sour though. Like, as in,
okay, yeah.
If you put, if you put a big mouthful, remember them? Yeah, but not. I don't think it's intentionally meant to be sour. But when if you have a massive mouthful of it, it has a really weird tone to it. Like grapefruit does. Like grapefruit.
Yeah.
If you have anything with grapefruit, best way to describe it, it's like it's like an alcoholic San Pellegrino. It's like the sour,
Is San Pellegrino anything like San Pellegrino, or is that?
No, it's the Italian version.
Is it? Well, I described it to you last week, didn't I? So here we go. You'll think summer has come early with every sip of this refreshing Radler. So the Radler must be a thing. Stepping away from our usual sour style, this fruity fusion of zesty lemon, tangy grapefruit, and sweet pineapple was brewed to a super sessionable strength. Sapphire hops round out the flavour, adding a hint of citrus and subtle floral notes. Now, my early prediction is it's going to taste like piss. Like rest of them. Shall we see if we can get? Oh, also, I think
this is going to be good, mate.
It must just not come through your headset, by the way, because I had to listen back, and the ASMR were there. You said it was only a little one, but it were there, yeah.
I heard it more that time. Oh yeah, it's fizzy.
So it's it's fizzy. It's quite pale. It's got a bit of something on it. Obviously modelled beautifully in the make it a double. Shall I just go straight?
So Would you like?
Go for it.
Would you like to know a very quick history of Radler?
Yes, I would.
Go on.
So apparently, Radler is very much like a shandy. So they're both mixed 50-50 with a blonde lager and a citrus kind of soft drink, I suppose. But the difference is a shandy is most often mixed with lemonade, while a Radler can be mixed with any form of fruit juice, including grapefruit, for example.
Do you know
what's the percentage on it?
3.4.
Oh, you'll enjoy that. It's the weak one.
I think it's a weak one. It's 3.4% more of alcohol than I've had in about 15 years.
You bet you one last week were a lot stronger.
Yeah, that was like 8%, I think.
So anyway,
That's
boys,
what I mean, yeah.
Cheers.
Oh no, that's not a good face.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
It's not. I still won't drink it.
Don't worry, mate. By Christmas, I'll have you necking whiskey and cokes.
This is the plan. This is the plan. I don't have social media anymore, so I need a vice. I need to turn into something. So we're gonna go alcoholic. That's what we're gonna go for. Yeah. Speaking of things
me, brother,
that we're determined to make people enjoy, in honour of Burnley and Leeds regaining Premier League status, for 1 week and maybe 1 week only, I've brought back Tenable.
Oh, it's an early Tenable as well.
It's an early Tenable.
We haven't even spoken about Sorare yet.
It's an early Tenable because I'm excited. Very excited. Also, Lasker 2-0 up already, so switched on up here. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm going to mix it up. I'm not going to make you do like the top 10 of something. I'm just going to ask for 10. So between you, 5 answers each. And it's every unique team that has been promoted to the Premier League.
Okay.
So like you can't have Burnley 4 times.
So just have only ever done it once?
No. So you can have, if they've done it multiple times, you can still have them once. You just can't.
Right, yeah.
You can't say Burnley, and then Marc say Burnley, and then you say Burnley again.
Yeah.
You can only have that team one time, okay?
Right.
So
can I go first?
Yeah, you can go first. You can't have Burnley, by the way.
Can I have Huddersfield instead then?
You can have Huddersfield, of course you can. Lovely answer.
I will say Wigan Athletic lost 1-0 to Chelsea on the opening day.
Yeah, Hernan Crespo, 93rd minute.
Mm-hmm.
What I forgot to tell you is I'm just getting up on my phone. You've got 15 seconds per answer.
Okay.
In fact, 10 because it's well easy. Yeah.
Is this just promotion as in first, second playoff? It don't have to be like automatic or yeah.
No, it's just promotion. The 3 teams to go up to the Premier League. You've got 9 seconds left.
West Brom.
Lovely.
Ipswich.
Lovely.
Middlesbrough.
Lovely.
Southampton.
Oh, look at this, you're flying here, you two.
I'm going to say Leicester now because I know Marc's tactic.
You're going by region. One more time sticking back.
Newcastle.
Lovely.
Oh, shit. How many have we done? How many have I got left?
It don't matter. We'll just keep it going. This is quick fire. You've got 4 seconds.
Just keep going until we run out.
Norwich.
Oh, that's close, you know. You're nearly over your 10 seconds. You nearly died then.
Sunderland.
Did you say 15?
Yeah, I changed it to 10. Go on, carry on. You've got 8 seconds.
Blackburn?
Yeah, Blackburn. Actually.
No, did they get relegated and didn't come back?
Have they just gone down and never gone back up? That was my worry.
I don't think they have been. I hope not. Anyway, let's have a little double check. This is.
I am a bit disappointed in the fact that it just fucking get in. Mark ran out of time.
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. Nottingham Forest. Straight back on you.
Wolves.
Nice.
Brighton.
Oh, good.
Aston Villa. They were a championship team. Grealish were there in championship.
Of course, yeah, they were.
Oh, yeah, because he went up in playoff final, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking come on, boy. Stop questioning.
You've thrown me now as well. Portsmouth.
Oh, that was my fucking next one. Hold on. Bournemouth.
Brentford.
Flying here, lads.
Stop being so fucking quick, man.
Go on then, just name every single one.
Oh, Leeds.
Nice. Can't believe I took that long.
Stoke.
Good.
It could be gone here, gents. I'm going to say
2.
No, I can't think of one.
Oh,
right. I could think of one. It's the time pressure that's got me.
Well, that's what I wanted. I'm trying to make it. If I am ever going to bring it back, I'm trying to make it more podcast friendly. So we're not even doing lives. That's immediately a Marc win.
Mate, I still had Brighton, Fulham.
You've already said Brighton.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Oh, if you'd have said Brighton next as well, you'd have gone.
Yeah, you'd have gone. Well, first tenable of the year. Marky Marc.
It's a good one, actually. I do like that one.
Better, right? We're not just sitting and stewing on the answers. It's just quick fire and it's done.
They also need to be factual and not what chocolate bar did some county in Northumberland or some town in Northumberland decide were the best chocolates or something.
Yeah, that were.
Can I try a transition, Adam?
Oh God, yeah.
Speaking of quick fire and done, how quick fire did you buy a full collection this week?
Honest to God. So for the
it's a good one. Come on, you got to give me that. As soon as you said that, I've got one.
Yeah, for those that did listen last week, me and Aaron were scrolling on our phones having a look at the Sakura and Harangi culture cards that are absolutely gorgeous. I'll say it again. And I said I was just trying to top up my Urawa collection, push myself to that 5%. I've got every single one you can get. Nice. There are three lads that you can't get because one of them's already got a rookie card, and the other two have both gone to Cerezo Osaka. So I got a special of one of them. So I need one more, and it's a full special collection. But the lad, now if he's listening, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check his name. I'm pretty sure he's called No Mercy. Summit. He's put himself in a position where it's impossible for anyone to catch him. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you buy the cards. You cannot catch him, which I think is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, it is, to be fair. Well, if you get shirt mints or number ones, this is it. Fair, do you get more for a special? Do you get more for a special though, or a shirt mint?
No, so you get 20. Shirt mint's the same. Number one, you get more for a first mint.
Yeah,
and that's why you can't be caught, because one of the lads who left, I think it's Shion Homer, he got his number one on auction, so he gets 60 points for that, and the maximum I can get is 40. So
yeah,
unfortunately, he's made the perfect collection. But yeah, I've got a full collection, and they immediately won me $20 this weekend in the Sakura competition, which I'm happy with. And I woke up early to watch them. Been enjoying it. Watch them during the week as well. So yeah, it's just nice, man. Nice collection.
I think it's been well said that the cards are sick, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are pretty cool. And I think, as we briefly spoke about before recording, that they've now released the super rare. Is that right?
Yeah, and the rares. Yeah,
and the rares.
You know what I will say. I do think releasing the different scarcities after without telling people that they were doing the rares and supers afterwards, I think that's a bit of a piss take.
Bit shady, that.
And the reason being, if you check the prices since the game week's been done, because obviously they're not. That was just a special week for that limited. They've all dropped to like almost normal prices.
Yeah.
Whereas you were paying 3-4 times so you could get them in for the weekend and get into the specials. So they've done that. The prices that you're buying limiteds at are almost what the rares are at now, because they're getting bought up early and things for the new competition.
Yeah.
I think if they'd have said, we're going to do limiteds first, and the other ones after, it'd have lowered the limited prices slightly, because some people would have waited.
Well, perfect example. Friend of the podcast, friend of the group, Sorare Canary, does not play limited. Don't play limited, plays rares, and was literally saying they never do stuff like this for rares. and he never usually buys in. He caved to the peer pressure, and he bought quite a few. I think he bought 30 of the Pohang Steelers, just for them to then release the rare versions a week later. So I don't know if underhanded is the right word to use, but I think they've definitely made more money doing it that way, because people who wouldn't have bought the limiteds have bought the limiteds. So from a business sense, they've done well. From a maybe moral sense, from a consumer perspective, I don't think it's the best move. But here we are.
But like you say, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, you'd end up just doing. If you were that bothered, you'd just buy them now, wouldn't you? If you had the budget and things, you would just get into your rares and supers. Like I'm very tempted to get Uta's rare now, just because it's there, and I don't need him.
Yeah, but what if, right? Listen, hear me out. I'm going to float this by you. I want you to tell me what you think. You've already got a limited one. Get a rare and a super rare, and then make that your Hall of Fame.
Just spend 70 quid for a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's just 3 Sakura Utanaki Yamas. I think that'd be stunning.
Printed on a t-shirt.
Yeah, frame it. Yeah, absolutely. We'll get in touch with what's he called? What's the chicken fella? What's the chicken fella called?
Free range chicken.
Free range chicken. Yeah, that's the fella. We'll get in touch with him.
Yeah, it took me a second.
Yeah, okay, a long time ago, that, isn't
it? 18 months ago.
That long time ago. That he's still got a Brad Stuver that I wouldn't mind fucking having, to be honest. Have you, Mark? Have you bought any of the Sakura or the Harangi cards?
No, I haven't. So obviously, I FOMO'd straight into the MLS.
Yes.
I had some late FOMO into another platform, MFL.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Oh, you did, yeah.
I've steered clear of these special Asian cards. To be fair, I actually only own, I think, 2 K-League cards that I actually use, which is Cecina, which I haven't used that much recently, and their fullback, whose name escapes me.
Wang Jae-won.
That's the one. Yeah,
Wang Jae-won.
Who scores very well even when they.
No, he fucking doesn't. No, if he fucking let me down 3 weeks in a row now, that not bad.
Does he?
Yeah, he's proper cost me.
Other than that, the only J and K League cards are just shit ones that I've crafted. So it's not something that I've actually ever been interested in. So I managed to avoid it. If, however, they did another Liverpool away kit collection, I'd be all in. If they
really not focused on that very well, Adam.
No, if they did at the end of the season, if we do go on to beat Spurs on Sunday and win the Premier League, if they did a Premier League winners edition cards,
that'd be class.
At the end of the season, I would be all in on that as well. But yeah, J and K League doesn't really float my boat, in all honesty.
I mean, that's fair. For me,
I don't think that's touched if it want for you to.
Yeah, for me, it was just something like over the summer. Oh, he's done it, max tenner. Yeah, do you know what? I respect it.
So I've got £7.15 credits that I'm never going to use. So
this is my thing. Is I'm going to buy myself one more J League goalkeeper in season. I'm going to get the Kashiwa Reysol goalkeeper. I think is it Ryosuke Kojima? Is that his name? I'm sure that's not how it's pronounced. But I've also got £7 in credits and the money that I've just won. And then that is me. Done.
Finished.
Finito. Unless they bring out some form of special Burnley card and then we'll take out a new mortgage, I guess. Who knows?
We also said a big farewell to rivals today.
It's not a big farewell. It was fantastic through internationals.
Yeah.
They could have made it such a good feature. It was a good feature for most of it. They needed proper private leagues. They needed more advertisement. They needed better incentive, and it could have been class. Instead, they just let it dry.
I loved it during the tournaments, like the big major tournaments.
I did.
It was really good.
It was great.
Well, and I don't know anyone that actually actively plays it now, so I'm not surprised.
Ryan, Sorare Melon, he still played it for a while, didn't he? Because he was grinding away in the
Division
Maya
1
League.
getting like elite boxes every week, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they were only fucking playing.
But the new concept, I don't dislike it. I know what you're going to say in terms of prizes, maybe. However, I don't. Obviously, it doesn't look like it's designed for progression, and it's completely designed for new users, which is fine. I was quite intrigued. We all opened our initial packs that we got, and I was quite intrigued. So, for the sake of £1, I think it was, I bought an elite Premier League one, but I actually bought 2 by mistake because for some reason, if you've got, so it only accepts cash, doesn't accept ETH, and you can't use cash that's already in your account. So to buy those,
you have to buy gems as like a microtransaction.
Yeah, so to buy those gems, I had to re-input my card details again, and it charged my card. And I was at work and I got distracted, didn't realise that the transaction had gone through, and I did it again because I thought it would fail. I bought 2 lots of 5 gems, but in those ones, I got an Alisson, a Trent, a Salah, a McAllister, and Gravenberch. Nice. So I've got a full Liverpool stack to go. And am I going to actively play it?
I was going to say,
I might as well throw them in, but
it is only a beta, and you are going to lose those cards.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's the case.
To be honest,
you might not because you've bought them. I'm not sure, but
it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
All cards are going.
All cards.
It wouldn't surprise me if they roll it every year, so they just get binned at the end of each season and they carry on.
I'll make a prediction now.
Shady.
This won't last the full next season.
No, I don't. It might not last till next season.
They've always. Can you think of any other common game that a free-to-play can play that hasn't got a reward incentive?
You could.
Have we ever?
I suppose technically you could argue the current best of Europe because it's market credits.
But that's still technically a cash reward as such.
But I'm saying you have to put money in to then. You don't just get a card. Is I guess the only thing.
FIFA Ultimate Team.
Rivals. FIFA Ultimate Team. You could technically sell your coins online. I did that a few times.
No, you didn't. Because that's against terms of service. You didn't do that.
I don't play FIFA anymore. Fuck them.
No, same.
The initial one back in the original common days was 3 cards, even just for the top 3 out of 100,000 people.
No, more than that, weren't it? We're not top 10.
No, well, they changed it to top 10 eventually. It started with top 3.
I remember my best ever finished is fucking 11th.
Yeah, you had to podium to get an actual card initially. And then it was top 10, which everyone was like, you've added 7 cards and there's an extra 20,000 people. But again, free to play. I can't even remember what the commons were after that until Rivals, what the actual situation was. But Rivals, you were getting boxes every week, which were tickets or credits or cards or whatever. Now, what is the incentive of a new user to come on and stick to that?
I don't think so, because it's always been...
Isn't that the point, though, that you just get bored of not winning anything? So then you think, actually...
Why would you, though?
The 20 quid that I've put in towards the gems, I can just buy a limited team.
Yeah,
if you put 20 quid in for gems, you're mentally ill in the first place. Because you cannot tell me that you would load up a game and spend £20 on something that gets you fuck all back, but you wouldn't then just put £20 into a limited team and play the game anyway.
You can literally get a good classic team for 20 quid. You get a good classic team for a tenner. Why would you buy players for a game mode with no reward and no progression when you can just buy the players to have a chance at winning?
Because for, I don't know, tenner, 20 quid, whatever we're going to say, you can't play with Mo Salah, Erling Haaland, Virgil van Dijk, Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka.
You technically can. Because the semi-pro things where you just need one limited, so then you can use whatever warm-up stuff, then you can use whatever commons you want with it.
Is Best of Europe still staying, is it?
I don't know.
I ain't got a clue.
I would assume so. But the semi-pro, well, the whatever they're called, where you use one limited.
I don't know. I assumed that they were going to get rid of Best of Europe.
I think that would be a mistake, personally. I think as a form of progression, they're the best that they've done so far.
Yeah, by far.
Because the original common, it became almost impossible because everyone had the same 5 cards. Because you won the common cards, everyone had Lionel Messi, everyone had Mbappe, everyone even had like your Alexander Schultz's, like from Uruguay that were scoring 100 every week, your Diego Fagundes, Obliakov, like from these random leagues that were scoring 100 every week. You needed 500 and your captain. You needed 5 perfect hundreds to get anywhere near. Then Rivals, again, personally, I didn't really see the progression other than the boxes and things, which I get, like the grind. It should be a grind. The warm-ups, I think, for the sake of like, you can buy a 50p card. You can buy like a 50p. I imagine like Lewis Dunk is like 50p. Perfectly okay centre-back. Surround him with Alisson, Salah, Haaland, whoever you want. And then you win your cards, then you move on. I think that's probably
my issue with Rivals was, I think Rivals is actually the easiest way to start the game for free. Like Ryan were getting like in Div 1, you get an elite box, you were guaranteed like I can't remember what card it was, but you were guaranteed like a tier 3 plus or something. That's just a starting player every single week or whatever it rolls over to every week for your cards. So that's probably the easiest way to get into it for free. My issue with Rivals is that it was so different to Sorare. You had to be on it every day. You had to be putting lineups in every day. You couldn't just go on and put your team out and see what happened. No. So you weren't experiencing Sorare. You were experiencing Rivals, which then
2 very different games for sure.
Yeah, 2 completely different games. Whereas they've now made a game that's Sorare, but with no rewards for it.
Yeah, which I get. I know we bang on every week about making sure that the game's fun. The game is fun, but it wouldn't be fun if I had to put money in and got absolutely nothing back. If I could play it for free and it was just like a free game to play with my mates, fine.
You don't have to put money in though.
Yeah, but you do. Where anything that's got microtransactions in, I don't like microtransactions.
To be fair, I do actually agree that you don't have to buy because you get a daily pack and you can whatever you don't want, you discard for essence, which then gets you more packs. But this is the thing. I think everyone's going to end up after
with the same
2 weeks of having 14 packs because bearing in mind they've made it regional again. So if you just stick to Prem, there's only 20 starting keepers. Yeah. So you're going to have them all within probably in a couple of weeks or whatever. There's only a certain amount of top scoring players. You're going to have them all. I think they should have done this, but more generic. And then you've got a wider pot of players. You've got more like differentials that you can put in. Yeah. It's going to end up being the exact same where it's the same 5 players are going to be top of the whole thing, and it's just your captain.
Yeah. I do agree. I'll probably stick a team out, especially if it does carry over to next year, and I can just stick 5 Burnley players out every week just for a laugh. And then the 1 week that they beat Man United 1-0 and I win it, that'd be class. Speaking of games that are free to play and don't have any prizes, though, how do we do on Sorare Darts?
Well, it was me v you.
Yeah.
It was a clear winner. But there's another little add-on that I've decided to find out as well, just because I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah. I already know what it's going to be. I already know what it's going to be.
I went with Luke Bacchio, thinking he'd do very well.
You do your 3, and then let me see if I can guess the add-on.
He scored 39. I went with Core, who came back and scored 64.7. So you're on 100 plus at the moment, and then your Aaron Wan-Bissaka decided just not to be in the squad.
I forgot. I genuinely forgot who your 3 were.
He's played so many games this year, and the one game where if he'd have just scored what he's been scoring every week at the moment, it just needed a 70 and it'd have been like my best score. And instead he just didn't play.
Oh, that's rough.
And Kufal were fucking wank.
He is dog shit. He's absolute dog shit.
So shit.
So you ended up on about 100, 105-ish?
103, 103.7 to be exact.
So is your add-on, so you're going to go through my score because I specifically said Sheffield United. Is the add-on what I would have scored if it were Watford? And would I have scored like 179.6 if it were Watford?
You're right in what the add-on is. You're not as close as I wish you were, just to rub it in a bit more. Your Sheffield United game was obviously you had the same 3 players anyway, but Trafford,
also,
Steve, and
just
Anthony.
quickly, fuck Sheffield United, by the way. Every single one of them. Ben Brereton Diaz, can't fucking stand him. Just can't stand Chris Wilder. Can't stand Sheffield United. Can't stand the fans. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Hope they go in playoffs. Carry on.
I agree with you. We'll carry on. Trafford got a 41.3.
Yeah.
Steve got a 54.5. And Anthony got a 41.8. So you got 137.6. It is a bit shit, but you beat me. If I just had a starting 35, I'd have beat you by 1.1 points.
That would have been good,
just by having a start. It'd have been lovely. I'd have loved it to finish on. Even if I'd have loved it to finish on 34 because I'd have beat you by 0.1.
0.1.
It'd have been fantastic. If you'd have chose the Watford game, you'd have got a Trafford 48.5.
Yeah.
You'd have got a Steve 40.4. But you'd have got an Anthony 77.4, which would have been 166.3.
Yeah.
So it'd have been a good one, less than 14 points away from the target, which is a decent effort.
So yesterday was one of those games that just does not translate to Sorare.
No.
Because that is the best game I've seen Maxime Esteve having a Burnley shirt. Without looking at like
the Sorare scores for it.
Yeah, but what I don't get is like usually you'll see like sometimes you'll see like a last man tackle for like a really late block, like as the last man.
Yeah.
And literally, I'm telling you now, Tom Cannon is about to put the ball in the back of the net. And Esteve just comes out of nowhere, just takes it off him, runs off. He's a
you think that's a last man.
I have never seen a graphic. Egan Riley did it against Watford. He literally tackled someone as the last man, kept the ball, and then still didn't get a last man tackle for it. Anyway, every time Esteve does something, if it's a tackle, if he's won a header, whatever it is, we've got a graphic where it pops up with his face on the big screen, and around the digital boards, around the top of Turf Moor, it just says Steve. Never seen that for a player who's not scored a goal. I've never seen that for a player. Honestly, all the players at full time were like, the classic, player safety, getting back down the tunnel. He did not give a shit. He was in the middle of about 300 Burnley fans, just fucking fist pumping, running up and down. But I can't remember a young foreign player buying into a club. I'm gonna be gutted when he goes. I'm gonna be proper gutted when he goes. He's
you just thought the club can turn around and say we've got that much. You have got the financial backing. You are in the Premier League. Just give us a 2-year extension. Have 1 year with us, and worst case scenario, we do go back down next year. We'll let you go.
It's one of them though that like I'm not gonna be good. I'm not gonna be like upset about him going. Like I'm gonna be upset that he's gone. But as a footballer, I don't think you can afford to like wait a year. He could do his cruise shirt and never play again. Like it's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I genuinely think he's going to a good team because he's a phenomenal footballer. Best of luck to him.
I'm not going to sit here and say you should just be happy for Esteve.
Well, you should just be happy for Trent, mate. Those are the rules.
No, I shouldn't.
Those are the rules. No, you absolutely fucking shouldn't. How do you feel about it? Have we talked about it on the pod yet?
No, I think we talked about it offline, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago? And I said that I was quite fed up with pundits and supporters of other clubs telling Liverpool fans how they should feel about Trent potentially leaving and saying, you should just be happy for him. He's going to play for Real Madrid, blah, 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 blah. No, it's all right for us to feel pissed off that we're losing one of the best right backs in the world.
In world football,
Yeah, like regardless of whether he's going for a free or whether we were selling him for 70 million, I'd still be annoyed that we were losing him.
Yeah, because he's a fucking good player.
So, yeah, it's one of those things like...
People are criticising him, though. They're not annoyed for losing him. They're annoyed at him. I don't think his decision's wrong.
No,
but it's the fans seem to be targeting him rather than just being targeting the club and not getting him to stay.
I think it's it's a weird one. It's kind of the way it's been dealt with. He hasn't helped himself, and his brother, who represents him as well, is a bit of a bellend, I think, for all accounts. So it's kind of the way it's just been dealt with. Is kind of annoying for Liverpool fans. I think
anyone who's ever been represented by a family member, I don't think that family member has ever turned out to be anything other than a bellend.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a proper fucking agent. Get a proper fucking agent.
But like, you know,
probably like Van Dijk, who's now $400,000 a week.
Let's be honest. If you're a middle-aged person and you're in the street burning a Trent Alexander-Arnold shirt, you're a knobhead. Just
you need
fuck
to get a
off.
job.
Yeah, you're a bellend.
Yeah.
Just fuck
embarrassing that. Anyone
but at the same time, it's all right for a fan to feel pissed off that they're losing their best player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you know, I think it was Rio Ferdinand, actually. It pissed me right off. And he was on telly going, you know, Liverpool fans, he's born and bred Scouser, come up through the ranks. They should be just happy for him that he's won everything at the club and he's moving on to, you know, potentially moving on to Real Madrid. No. I want to be pissed off that we're losing one of our best players.
I think we should have completely disregarded everything Rio Ferdinand has ever had to say, ever, about anything.
Yeah.
How he still gets punditry jobs after that Real Madrid game.
Yeah.
When he sat there and just went, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or. Shut up, you fucking idiot.
Did you hear him for Manu Leon game over there?
Yeah.
So we were on Manu Leon commentary. It was fucking abysmal, man. It was so bad. And the thing is, I actually really am getting this is why I don't really listen to commentary when I watch football, to be honest, because they're all shit. But why does every game have to have a commentator that supports one of the teams?
Yeah, I hate it.
It becomes so it becomes so biased. There's no one there who's just commentating. There's Rio Ferdinand screaming every time someone does something in a Man United game, but then if someone in the Leon shirt does it, he just doesn't care.
That's my problem as well, is when it's like, I don't mind so much for the European games because I get it. We're supposed to want English teams to do well or whatever. When it's a game in the Prem and they've got like 2 ex-players from one team and no one from the other team, I'm like, well, how am I supposed to believe that you don't have a bias in this game? And I genuinely think Gary Neville is one of the better ones at being, I won't say unbiased, because I think he's almost biased against United sometimes.
Yeah, it is now. Yeah, he's too critical now.
Yeah, but he's probably the only one that you will get some objective commentary. Again, I don't think he's great. I think he's the best of a bad bunch.
Yeah.
Give me Ali McCoist over literally.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Ali McCoist is the best one. And he also, because he's a Rangers fan, he doesn't have, you know, he's fairly unbiased towards Premier League teams. So
yeah, he hates all English people, so it's fine.
But I'll tell you what, it's there's no hiding the fact that I fucking hate Manchester United, and I stuck that game on in the background on Thursday, and I had to turn it off because I can't bear to see them celebrate. But that's just me being a Liverpool fan. But
listen, as an unbiased, now a fan of a Premier League team, but I wasn't at the time. That is some fucking finish to a football game.
it was, but as is right, like. Hit like Rio Ferdinand and Robbie Savage was like listening to. It was
definitely can't say that anymore.
That's getting bleep.
I've not. Hey, listen, I've not pulled out the censorship for a long time, but I might have to today, Marcos. Need to keep your reputation intact.
I mean, it would pretty much have to, seem as though I'm pretty sure we've muted that word previously as well, so we can't suddenly start allowing it.
That's the one.
I completely agree with you, though. I completely agree with you.
That word, what I will say is that word has made a comeback, as much as I don't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree. Robbie Savage is a weird one. I don't get why he's got any bias towards Man United. Did they not fucking release him when he was like 15?
Yeah. Didn't his lad get released by them as well?
Yeah. You
I
should
don't
fucking hate him,
understand
you weirdo.
why there's so many good commentators that have got with historical moments and things like that. Imagine we had a decent commentator on where they've just scored 3 goals in 7 minutes, and instead you've got to listen to Rio Ferdinand scream and shout because he used to play for him.
Yeah.
The moment was amazing. The commentary was wank.
This is often the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you know, I will say, if that was Liverpool and it was an ex-Liverpool player like showing his emotion, letting his emotions get the better of him, I probably wouldn't have been that asked. But I just detest Rio Ferdinand. So
again, I don't know how many views they get on it, but let's just say they had 2 million people watching. Out of the 2 million, how many of them were Man United fans? Because there won't have been a huge proportion of them. It was just football fans watching it. So it needs to be an unbiased person so that it don't piss everyone else off when they're listening to it.
We forgot to do something, by the way.
Yeah, no, we've just skipped over his players for darts. I have got it up on my phone just to make sure we didn't forget. Last comment on commentary. Seeing as though I fully pay for every single Huddersfield Town game I watch at home. But the issue is, you don't always get your home commentary. Now, if you've ever watched an iFollow game with the other team's commentary, it is one of the worst things you can ever experience in your life. They get all your players' names wrong. They can't pronounce them.
Yeah.
All the information is incorrect. Yeah. They are the most biased fans you will ever hear in your life. Yeah. Even if a decision goes in their way, they'll still scream and shout because it's horrendous. Yeah. And then they'll even get into stuff that no one gives a shit about, like talking to each other and try to have a laugh and a joke. And I'm like, I'm trying to watch footy, just commentate on it, you fucking mong. Like, what are you doing? My
favourite one from this year were Burnley Sheff Wednesday, and it were a midweek game, so I couldn't come. And I think they'd moved it to a Friday night, and I couldn't go, whatever it were. And I watched it, and it were an iFollow one, and it were 2 Yorkshiremen talking about it. And first off, to be fair, Sheff Wednesday fucking could have been 3-4-0 up. And they were both chatting. They were like, hey, there's not much up with this Burnley team. I think we can come and nick a result here. And then we fucking pasted them second half. Absolutely put them to the sword. And they were like, well, this Burnley team, they do have their rave reviews, don't they? And you can see why they're up there. Shut up.
Do you remember back in the day, Sky Sports fan commentary, whatever it was called?
Oh, Fan Zone.
Fan Zone.
Fan Zone was great. One fan from each team.
Yeah.
Have you not seen the clip from, I think it was Luton Bristol this weekend, where I think Luton were 1-0 up, and it's a great equaliser. It's like a volley from outside box, but on the Luton commentary, the guy in the background just goes, "Oh, fucking hell!" Really forgotten he's got a professional job to do and realise he's put Mike away far enough that you can tell he's trying to be good about it and just be like, "Oh, fucking hell!" But you can still hear him 100% in background.
That's mint. That is absolute. I do love if it's not what I'm if I'm not watching the team who they're playing against, a regional commentary is class because you do get emotion that you couldn't find. Peter Drury ain't going to give a shit about Bristol City equalising against Luton, is he? It'll give you some poetic nonsense.
I'll try and find it and send it into the group.
It's fallen from the gods and it's been a strike sweeter than that by Hercules. But you get a proper Lutonian who is just fuming, no matter how good of a goal it is.
We've just gone full circle.
Commentator in and it comes straight up.
We've just gone full circle and slated Robbie Savage and Rio Ferdinand for the Man United commentary, and then just said how amazing it is to hear when fans.
So I think the problem is that Robbie Savage and Rio Ferdinand are thick dickheads.
Yeah.
I think that's my problem more than anything. I've never heard Rio Ferdinand say something insightful and think, oh, he's got a point there.
No.
I completely agree.
Shall we pick some players?
Anyway, I've picked my darts player.
Have you? Oh, shit. I've picked mine as well. Yeah. Who's yours, Aaron?
My pick is one of the best, I'm going to say best purchases I've ever made on Sorare, I think. value for money. He has just won me 8 Essence this weekend.
Oh, okay. I think it is.
He seems to just score so well, and I paid 63 quid, I think it was, 68 quid for his super rare.
Yeah.
And it's Rahmani.
Yep, centre half from Napoli.
Unbelievable.
Lovely
Sorare player.
Lovely scorer.
International
utility as well.
Yeah. Is it Kosovan? Kosovo?
Yeah.
I don't know how you pronounce it.
Got decent
to be honest, I don't think I've ever watched him play, so I'm not going to say he's a top footballer or top talent. I just know he's good for Sorare. That's the only. Yeah, that's all I care about.
What do you reckon he's getting this weekend? Yeah.
I think he's going quite big. I did check my fixtures. He's got a good fixture. They're at home to Torino.
Marc,
so
what
I'd
were you
expect.
thinking?
I'm saying 70 minimum.
Yeah.
See, I've picked my team, but I haven't picked the player from that team because I was waiting to see what you guys were going for. But I can't not go for Liverpool this weekend, can I? When if we beat Spurs, we win the Premier League.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine.
Can't not go for Liverpool. So, in honor of Big Verge extending his contract, I was going to go for Virgil van Dijk.
Nice.
Centre halves all round.
Fuck it. Let's do centre halves all round then.
Steve.
Because. But do you know what? I weren't going to. Yeah, fuck it. Maxime Esteve. No, I picked him last week.
You do have to win as well, though. Oh, yeah, go on. Pick someone else. Pick someone else.
CJ Egan Riley. Can I have other one? He's not. He's dropped some massive scores, but him and Esteve they're really annoying because one of them will score really, really well one week, and then other one will do it week after. And trying to fucking prioritize my best lineups is an absolute nightmare.
Who've Burnley got?
30 guaranteed points.
QPR away from home, so it's not. To be honest, it's not easy. QPR have picked up a bit of form.
Who have Leeds got?
30 guaranteed points for clean sheets.
I don't. Are they at home to Bristol City? I think they play Monday, don't they? Yeah, they're at home to Bristol City Monday night.
Because I know last game of the season, Leeds are away at Plymouth, aren't they?
Yeah, we're at home to Millwall, which I'm a bit sad about that because it means that I think we've got him under an obligation anyway, so hopefully it won't matter. But like, if Zian Fleming don't come back to Burnley, he can't get a send off because he can't play. He's playing against his parent club, so he can't play.
He'd still come out at end when he do a walk around.
Yeah, but it's not the same, is it? Because he'd probably have got taken off with 20 minutes left, got a standing ovation. Like, it's just, one of them. But yeah, we're going to win league, so he'll come out to celebrate. I actually got quite emotional when the celebrations happened yesterday because Jordan Bayer was there for the celebrations, and I fucking miss him, man. I just miss him. I know he don't know I exist, but if I genuinely think if I see him play for Burnley again, I'll cry when he comes on. He's had a rough year of it, man. He got injured against, I can't remember. He come back against Tottenham and went off with 20 minutes left because Company brought him back too soon. Then he didn't play from November to February, and Company were like, he'll be back for the Luton game. Didn't play then and hasn't played since. So we're at like a year and a half now. He had an operation. He got an infection. There were one point where his legs, I seen a picture of him training. His legs were different colours. Like his legs were literally different colours. Like he's not been able to walk. He's been fucking biking. If he ever plays football again, testament to the lad because he's had a rough year and a half of it.
At least
I was just gonna say, I've just looked now. He hasn't played since end of 2023.
Yeah, we're at Tottenham. Were Tottenham his last game?
Villa.
I don't remember. What were that? The 3? Did we get battered?
3-2.
Oh, that Lyle Foster one.
At least you're home last game of the season. Imagine Leeds winning the league and having to lift
all the way to Plymouth.
The trophy in Plymouth.
Right. Listen to this. We can finish on this as well because I'm starving. I
want to tell you one more thing. So
okay, that's fine. We'll do that. So when Burnley won the league, it was last time under Dyche. We were top of the league, and I think we were away at Charlton, who'd already been relegated, and they took the trophy to Middlesbrough because Middlesbrough might win the league. They didn't. We fucking won it. We had to celebrate with an inflatable trophy. What is that about?
They usually at least do like a replica.
Halfway. Well, they have it halfway, don't they? When it looks like it's going. I think we beat Charleston 4 or 5-0.
As soon as that goes 2-0, you should be straight back up motorway and taking it to that stadium.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's like 10 years ago now, and it still pisses me off when I think about it.
Well, you know what? I'm praying most.
Oh, here we go.
Don't get me wrong. I didn't want Leeds to win the league anyway. But do you want to know why I don't want them to win the league?
Why?
Because the weekend of the Plymouth game, I'm staying away at a fucking lodge somewhere with 4 Leeds fans.
Lovely.
Who are all, we've said we're going to arrive early in York to go to a pub to watch it, which they would normally go to the game as well, like the home and away fans. But because we're doing like a joint 30th weekend away. So as the only Huddersfield Town fan going and 4 Leeds fans, I've got to sit and watch that Leeds Plymouth game. So I'm just absolutely praying they just don't go up. Don't win the league.
That the bottom of the championship is tasty.
It is.
There is not a team relegated yet with 2 games left. Plymouth 43, Cardiff 43, Luton 46, Derby 46, Hull 48, Oxford and Preston 49, and even Stoke in 17th on out of it on 50.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's mad.
Coming into that last game, let's have a look. What have we got next round of fixtures? Cardiff at home to West Brom. Hull play Derby. Oh, that's a massive game. Plymouth play Preston. That's massive.
I know they don't listen to this anymore because I don't think they know we've brought it back. But the one guy that listened to it, it's like you've met him, Jack, who came to First Evans.
I think you're going to say
Ash. He's there as well.
Good footballer, good engine.
I'm absolutely praying that before the last game of the season, so the next game, Burnley are top, because I'm going to buy a Plymouth shirt on Vinted. I've already saved it just in case. That's like £7, and I'm just going to order it and say I need it by the weekend. I'm going to wear it under some sort of top.
Wear it anywhere.
And I might have to anyway, because even if they then lose it on the last game of the season, I can keep it under my top. They won't know, and if all happens, I can just take it off. Have you ever seen that Rota Shaw clip where he's sat on that pitch side and he's got like a Man City shirt on and they're playing Real Madrid and they go like 2-0 down and he slowly takes his Man City shirt off and he's got a Real Madrid one underneath. I'm going to be like, I'm going to do that and just hide the Plymouth shirt all day. And if anything perfect happens where they don't win the league because of it, it's coming straight out.
Just have your Huddersfield top on. And then
I can't wear that. That's too embarrassing.
Why is that embarrassing? Fuck them. You can't be around Leeds fans and not represent.
Oh, no, we're going to meet Middle of York, so I can't really wear a footy shirt out there. Like, none of us are going to be wearing footy shirts. It's more I'm just going to have it on underneath like a jacket or something that no one's going to be able to see, and then just take my jacket off, and I've got a Plymouth top on.
I like that. Well, I can't wait to see that. Obviously, we'll record before then, and Burnley will be top of the league by then because Leeds are going to get beat off Bristol City. Either of you got anything to discuss before we ski, Daryl?
Don't think so.
Nope.
No.
At the start, you mentioned that you went to Bakewell, so I think we should do something sometime on why cherry Bakewells are one of the best cakes going.
I don't think I can necessarily agree with that, though, pal.
They're up there.
Do you know what?
They're up there with Battenberg.
Battenbergs, I'll come with you. I'll come with you, mate. We'll go toe to toe against Aaron. I've got a few controversial opinions about cakes and sweets, and I'm obviously your man, so we can start next week. I'm sure, Mark, you can find a tenable about what Cornish people rated as the top 10 confectionaries. I don't know, something tenuous anyway. It's been a pleasure, boys. Nice to have both of you back. I'll see you all next week.
Love you,
bye.
Sorare forever.
Peace.